Cougars. Today we find out if UTEP is a contender or pretender for the Western Athletic Conference title.
Ready for air, please.
Bring up satellite receiver locked in.
TSL 2 is clean.
Ready beta card.
All the phones are hot.
Stand by to roll VCR.
The IFB is locked down.
Router feeding TVC2. Video checks are done. Standby audio card.
Take control of still store.
Cue announcer.
Miner football is on the air.
Today's game is brought to you by Bob Hoy's World Automotive Market, Coors, Major Video, local Nissan dealers, Price's Creameries, and Sierra Medical Center.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cougar Stadium on the BYU campus in Provo. I'm John Teicher, along with Jeff Lindbergh and Rick Parr. This afternoon, the Miners open their 21st season as members of the Western Athletic Conference against the BYU Cougars. Jeff, what are the keys to victory for the Miners this afternoon?
John, besides keeping Pat Haggerty healthy for this ball game this year, John Harvey, who's averaging 135 yards per game and leads the nation in touchdowns, will have to duplicate that or better if UTEP's going to win today.
Rick, what are the keys to victory for the Cougars?
John, I think it's very simple. Sean Covey must play 4 quarters. The only time the Cougars have been defeated, and this is when he's started at quarterback, is last year in the All-American Bowl, and again 2 weeks ago in Laramie, Wyoming, the Cougars were defeated because he was knocked out of the ball game.
We'll have the opening kickoff from Provo when Miner football continues in just a moment.
Which one as we had in last year's game in El Paso. With the swirling winds, the quarterbacks had some difficulty, but today it should be just perfect football. Yesterday was gorgeous, and this afternoon it's about the same. In the series overall, 19 victories for BYU, just 6 for the Miners.
First and third quarter, so we're going to have to take a real close look at that.
We join forces on a simulcast, the miracle of electronics, Radio 690 KVIA and KVIA TV Channel 7. And gentlemen, here we go. The Miners will kick off to begin the ball game, and they will defend the southern goal to our right here at Cougar Stadium. Of course, Chris Jackie will do the honors.
That's right. We just saw a shot of Bob Stoll before going to that. This is a big game for Coach Bob Stoll. He's done a tremendous job here at UTEP and turning this program around, but as we've talked about all week, you've got to win this game. You've got to beat a BYU, a Wyoming, or an Air Force to put yourself in the upper echelon of this conference. And before the game, we talked to the players and coaches. They can't be any more ready for this contest than they are today.
I can tell you, with the Miners kicking off, that means we'll be playing defense first. And Mike Church and crew have said that they will be ready for that Cougar offense, which is so potent.
The deep men for BYU, Mike O'Brien wearing number 32 and Eric Mortensen wearing number 35. We're just about ready for the Miners Western Athletic Conference opener. Glad to have you with us from Provo, Utah. Chris Jackie approaches the football, and the contest is underway. O'Brien will take it about 6 yards deep and will kneel down, and the Cougars will begin 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And of course, Sean Covey, the junior, will be at quarterback. Jeff Franson and Chuck Cutler, the wide receivers, with Darren Handley opening up at tight end, and Matt Bellini and Fred Whittingham in the backfield for BYU. Miners playing with 2 brand new corners here this afternoon. And Vernon Cooks comes out to the left, to the right side. O.T. Thomas, there's the offensive line. They go 265 to 280. And we see Bryce Doman opening up at one of the wide receiver slots for BYU in place of Jeff Franson. Cougars come out with 1 back behind Sean Covey, wings to each side. Covey short drop to throw, looking left and firing into the flat. Bellini has it, crosses the 30 and gets up to the 33-yard line. And the Cougars have the initial first down of the contest. Doug Morgan, the Miner inside linebacker, the junior from Pittsburgh, made the tackle.
That's what they're going to do this afternoon, John, try and isolate Matt Bellini. We said last year he had 51 receptions coming out of the backfield, and they're going to go to that 6-foot sophomore from California a lot this afternoon. They love to get him against those linebackers.
Split backs this time behind Covey. The tight end is Travis McBeth, so Darren Handley not in the starting lineup for BYU. Covey again retreats to throw, fires over the middle short. McBeth has it across the 40 and gets up to the 45-yard line. He got himself out of the grasp of Doug Morgan, and the other inside linebacker, Craig Evans, had to make the tackle. Setting the Miners for you defensively up front, Tony Tolbert and Falanico Iacopo, the ends. And there you see the inside linebackers, Craig Evans and Doug Morgan. Jeb Mosley, Raymond Hill, and Ross Purity are the tackles and the nose guard for the Miners, and we'll have the secondary in just a moment. BYU has gone from their own 20 to their own 45. First down just underway from Provo. Covey on the draw, hands left side. Fred Whittingham trying to get outside at midfield. He has the first down as he's tackled inside the Miner 45-yard line.
To run the ball. Very good play selection.
Travis Macbeth, the tight end, in motion left to right. Cougars at the Miner 45. Covey will pass. Looking. The screen left to Bellini at midfield at the 45, at the 40. He's at the 35, and he's down to the 34-yard line. With another BYU first down, Doug Morgan, the Miner linebacker, had to bring him down.
But this afternoon to move themselves up.
Jeff Franson to the right, Bryce Noman to the left. Again, Covey will throw out of the shotgun. Dumps it off a little bit to Bellini, wide open at the 30, at the 25. He's inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. Cutler and Doman, the wide receivers, and Bellini is slot left out of the shotgun. Covey will throw, looking left, has time. He fires that way. Bellini can't get it, and it's almost intercepted inside the 10-yard line by Richie Wright, number 41. The pass a little too tall for the leaping Bellini, just inside the 10. Fourth down in the field goal unit coming on for BYU.
John, that time it was just a simple pass play to the outside. You had a combination route. Bellini going to the deep out. And unfortunately for BYU, they missed it. Fortunately for UTEP, now they're looking at blocking a field goal.
Freshman Earl Kaufman is 2 for 4. He will attempt a field goal of 37 yards from the middle of the field. The ball is on its way, and he splits the uprights. And we have our first score of the afternoon. There's a timeout on the field with exactly 12 minutes left to play in the first quarter. It's BYU 3 and the Miners nothing. All right, the official signals the football ready for play, and it's on its way downfield. A high kick, and Caldwell will take it a yard deep and bring it out with CA the lead blocker. Caldwell crosses the 10, the 15, the 20, and he's tripped up as he gets to the 21-yard line. First man downfield for BYU on the special teams was Tony Crutchfield. And the Miners, let's set them offensively for you. Arnie Atkinson, the tight end. There you go up front. Whitholz and Casper, the tackles. Cougar and Pufall, the guards, with James Spady at center. Pat Haggerty, of course, the quarterback. At tight end, Arnie Atkinson. He'll have John Harvey and Eddie Dixon as his running backs. And Reggie Barrett and Clarence CA, the starting wide receivers. First down, Miners from their own 21-yard line. Haggerty spins, gives off the right side to Harvey, outside at the 25, and he gets out of bounds up at the 27-yard line. The Miners with a 6-yard gain on first down. Rodney Rice forced him out. There's BYU defensively. Clark and Harston, the tackles. Harston for Craig Patterson. The linebackers, Johnson, Robinson, Reagan Hansen, and Bob Davis, with Bergeson, the only newcomer in the secondary, Rice, Peterson, and Long, the others. Second down 4, Miners from their own 27-yard line. The lone back this time is Dixon. Miners going with 2 tight ends. Haggerty fires a quick out left, and he can't find Glenn Bishop. Lance Brownlee to punt for the Miners. Barefoot as he is, standing inside his own 20-yard line. A low snap, he comes up with it, and here's his kick, end over end, taken by Mike O'Brien and fumbled by O'Brien at the 16-yard line. The ball is loose, and the Miners have come up with it inside the 20-yard line. Tom Costello, number 52, a reserve inside linebacker, a senior from New York State, comes up with the football, and UTEP has the game's first big break.
Before the ball game, we talked about Lance Brownlee. He had to perform today, and that time not a very good kick, but watch the knuckle effect on this one. O'Brien, a solid player back there, can't hang on to it, and then the pile comes in, and Costello, the senior, boy, one of the biggest plays in his career, recovering that one. That's a big play for Costello.
And they combined to sack Haggerty back at the 25.
John, you had an all-out blitz by the BYU Cougar defense. Haggerty avoided the one. Ricky Lopez picked up a nice block, but he couldn't avoid the other 2 rushers, and Haggerty goes down, and BYU looks very good defensively. Looks like a little rough stuff there going on.
Oh, Bob Davis that time swung back in his excitement, and he caught the official right in the face. I hope he's all right.
Miner trainer Dave Binder out to make sure that, and that's Jack Baker, the referee, is the one who was shaken up. Joined by line judge Gerald Wright, the backfield judge Michael Carey. Jim Crittenden is the umpire this afternoon. John Cobb, the field judge. The linesman is Bill McCabe, and Charles Sisk, the side judge. But it's Baker who has his clock cleaned early.
You know, John, we were talking about pressure and the pressure the defenses can put on the offenses, and what does it do to that quarterback? Well, it makes the quarterback look at his secondary and third receiver, and sometimes you cannot pick those guys up. Now, Hegarty obviously was looking for an outlet pass, couldn't find one because they were bearing down on him so hard. Well, you know that the Miner defense wants to do the same thing to Sean Covey.
I hate to say this, John, but I think that was the best hit of the day so far. I know that Jack wouldn't appreciate that too much, but he took a shot, but he's okay, thank goodness. We saw Lavelle Edwards' record there earlier, John. 147, he's the all-time winningest coach in the Western Athletic Conference. He's passed some big names, and he could be mayor, governor. They love him up here, and he's just from Orem. Born in Orem, not too far from Provo.
5 times the Western Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Jack Baker utilizing a little cotton.
Well, as loud as the crowd is getting out here in Provo, and there's supposed to be 65,000 people here, at least by halftime, and they are fired up. They want to see their Cougars win. So you're going to see an exciting contest, and also one that the crowd really gets into the ballgame.
Chris Jackie, who is 5 for 6 thus far, will try a 42-yard field goal from the left hash mark. Jeff Remo to hold. There's the snap. Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It has the distance, and it is good. A 42-yard field goal by Chris Jackie to tie the game. Timeout on the field. 10 minutes, 23 seconds remaining first quarter. It's the Miners 3, BYU 3. Passing situation for the Cougars on 3rd and 10. Covey fades to throw, looking under a rush, rolling right. He fires. It's Bellini at the 35, 40, 45 midfield. He's at the 40. He's still on his feet. Down the sideline and knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Doug Morgan finally forced Bellini out of bounds, but not before the Cougars pick up a BYU. At the Miner 30-yard line. Covey will air it out. Now under a rush, scrambling to the left to buy himself some time. Now he'll run. Or will he? And he's going to be sacked back at the 35-yard line. Thomas Bradley, number 93. Doug Morgan, 37. Ross Purity, 66 were all there. And down goes Covey at the 30-yard line. They're going to mark it back at the 33.
We talked about it all week. What do you have to do to stop BYU? You have to do this. Put pressure on Sean Covey. Great pursuit by Ross Purity and the rest of the defensive line. Thomas Bradley finally got over there and collared him close to a face mask, but a good play by Bradley, and gang tackling from the Miners. You'd like to see that.
Cougar field goal unit is on once again, and freshman Earl Kaufman, who had a 51-yarder against Texas here last week, will try another from that distance. The kick is on its way. It has enough leg, but it's wide to the right. He missed it, and the Miners will take over on downs from their own 33-yard line in a 3-3 tie. At their own 18-yard line. Receivers to each side. Covey deep drop to throw. The pressure's on. Rolling to his right. He fires long down this the near side for Cutler. It is caught inside the Miner 30-yard line. The Cougars are rolling.
And notice when they actually run the ball, it's right after they make a big pass play. You'll see Bellini go left and then cut all the way back to his right before Morgan finally gets a handle on him. And Bellini does an exceptional job. I mean, he just tries to find where the open spot is. He runs well, and of course he has to be gang tackled to be brought down.
From the 15-yard line, twin receivers to the left. Now Cutler in motion. Covey will pass, looking left. He fires that way toward the end zone for Cutler. Touchdown, BYU! Cutler beat Terry Walker deep along the back line of the end zone, and Covey laid it in perfectly for Sean Covey, his third touchdown pass of the season, and the Cougars are on the board.
Simple drop back. Cutler comes all the way across the field. He looks wide open, but he's not really that far open. Pretty well covered on the play, but think about it. Covey lays it in so nicely. Very good touch by Covey.
And Kaufman missed the extra point. Kaufman missed the extra point. And we've got a timeout on the field with 1:07 remaining first quarter. It's BYU 9 and the Miners 3. Third down and 5. The Cougars from their own 34-yard line. And he Send receivers to each side. Covey looking left and firing out that way. It's caught across the 40. Franson in the clear at midfield. He's at the Miner 30. He's at the 20, at the 10. Franson with a Cougar touchdown. "61 yards, Sean Covey to Jeff Franson. Make it 64 yards. And the Cougars on the board again.
Great move that time by Franson when he caught the football. He was able to keep his balance like Bellini did, if you remember, earlier in the game. And just a great individual effort that time by Franson. A little bit late on the coverage, missed the tackle, and when you miss tackles in big games like this, you're usually going to pay for it. And that time, Franson, a great individual effort. He took it all the way.
Not an unusual play, a simple out. And really, O.T. Thomas should have been able to make that tackle. He misses one, and I know he's just hurting inside because it turned into a very, very big play, especially here in the second quarter. And Franson was smart enough to take it down the side and score.
Officially 66 yards, and the Cougars now are going to try for 2 from the 3-yard line. In motion, Bellini left to right. Covey rolling to his right, looking to throw. The pressure on from Richie Wright, fires into the end zone, and Darren Hanley has it for the 2-point conversion. Timeout on the field, 14 minutes, 40 seconds remaining first half. It's BYU 17 and the Miners 3. Chase Doman come out to the left side. Tight end is right. Now Bellini in motion, left to right. Covey again will pass. Miners have a stun on. Covey in trouble, now steps up and he'll run. 40, 35, and he's twisted down at the 33-yard line. Tony Tolbert and Terry Walker, and it was Tolbert primarily responsible for the tackle. That will bring up a 4th down, and the Cougars bring Pat Thompson onto the field. The ball spotted at the 33-yard line. It would be about a 50-yard field goal attempt. And Thompson is also the holder, so Kaufman will try a 50-yard field goal from the right hash mark out of Pat Thompson's hold. There's the snap. Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It has plenty of distance, and he missed it again. So he's missed an extra point, and now he misses a field goal attempt from 50 yards. And we're going to take a timeout right here. Timeout on the field, 10:14 remaining first half. BYU 17 and the Miners 3.
I think he can hear the crowd noise as well. It's getting really intense, and that's when it's the most fun to play.
Second down, Miners at their own 48. Haggerty will pass, looking right, fires that way. It's caught by Rob Hausler, the tight end. He's inside the BYU 45, and they'll give him progress to the 43-yard line. And that will be about a yard shy of a first down. And it will be 3rd down coming up. Tackle made by Troy Long, the all-conference strong safety for the Cougars. They spot it closer to the 42.
Yeah, more like about an inch. Hausler does a good job here. He's out in the open. He does a little out route, and then he comes back underneath. Now watch him try to fight for yardage. The BYU Cougar defense, though, is real stingy. They don't want to give him anything, and they stop him short of the first down.
3rd down and less than a yard to go. Miners have 3 running backs in the game, including Willie Fuller. Haggerty, play action fake. He'll throw. He fires toward the middle of the field, and it's broken up at the 20-yard line, and the Cougars were not fooled. For a moment, I thought there might have been a penalty marker down. Bergeson and Troy Long deflect Haggerty's pass intended for Rob Hausler. It'll be 4th down. Haggerty stopped for a moment. I thought there might have been a flag down.
You know what happened that time is Rob Hausler, he was trying to get through, as we'll see the great fake by Pat Haggerty. They were going into the line with Harvey, but Rob Hausler fell down. That's why Pat stopped.
There you go. He had no protection as well.
4th down, less than a yard to go. 2 tight ends in the game, and Willie Fuller. Haggerty gives to the deep back Harvey, and Harvey leaps over the line of scrimmage for the first down, and he has it inside the Cougar 41-yard line. Reagan Hansen and Bob Davis, the inside linebackers, combining to bring Harvey back to the ground, but not before the Miners senior running back picks up the first down.
Miner fans marked down 9:08 on the timer because that's part of the second quarter when UTEP might have made the biggest play of the game.
Dixon is wing right, pitch back right side Harvey, 40, and he's shoved out of bounds just inside the 37 at the 36-yard line. Miners gain about 4 on the play. Rodney Rice Boy, he's a physical player at 5'8", 185. Rice comes up to shove Harvey out of bounds.
Nice play, a nice call. It gets everybody back in the swing of things after a timeout. Harvey around this, a little sweep to the outside. He kind of jukes in and then goes back outside, but Rodney Rice does a good job.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Miners go with 2 tight ends. They bookend the line. Haggerty short drop, fires right. It's complete to Hausler at the 30, 25-20, and he's pushed out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line. Rob Hausler, the big tight end, number 88, the senior from Lockport, New York.
It's great to see Rob back in the lineup. He had walking pneumonia. He's lost some weight, but he looks good this afternoon. Pat fired that one right on the line, and once Rob turned upfield, Rob's got a little bit more speed than Arnie. Oh, everybody's always telling Arnie how slow he is. But you get Big Rob in there, he can move down that field.
First down, Miners at the Cougar 20-yard line. The hand to the deep man, Harvey. 20 trying to get outside and goes down at the 16-yard line. After a gain of 4, Chad Robinson, number 9, and Reagan Hansen, number 50, combining on the tackle. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go.
Good play selection by Dirk Cutter. He's using his plays wisely. He's going inside, then outside, then throwing the ball. It mixes up that defense a little bit. They don't know exactly what to expect on first down. First and 10, second and 5. It does a good job. I think Dirk's doing a good job calling the plays.
Harvey now on the sideline. The Miners going again with 2 tight ends. Haggerty fumbles the snap from center, and then I believe he fell on it to regain control. Haggerty pulled back from center, and Jack Baker stops play. Let's see if they've determined who recovered. It looked like Haggerty fell on it, but you never know what will happen at the bottom of that pile, and evidently Haggerty did indeed cover up.
Well, we'll see what happens here for our folks watching on the TV side, and he just never got the snap. And Pat dove down to get it. I don't even know if he really came up with it. Yeah, he did. He scooped it up with his left arm, so he recovered it. Big break for the Miners, John. I think it's imperative that UTEP get on the scoreboard here, be it a field goal or a touchdown, preferably, of course, the touchdown. They need to get back in this ballgame mentally and not be demoralized going into the locker room.
Loss of 2, 3rd and 8. Miners at the BYU 18-yard line. Ricky Lopez out to the right side. Haggerty will put it in the air. He fires over the middle, and he has Lopez. First down inside the 10-yard line. Ricky Lopez, number 8, the young sophomore from Phoenix, who had missed the Miners' first 2 games with a torn quad muscle.
You'll see Ricky come right over the middle. He's an inside slot position, and he just comes right over the middle, and Haggerty wisely drills that ball as hard as he can right into Ricky. And little Ricky, man, this guy's a winner. That guy is quick, he's fast, he knows where to go, and he can catch the ball.
Might be the littlest and the toughest of the Miners. First and goal from the 7-yard line. Miners deep in Cougar territory. Harvey on the carry, and he's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Dwayne Johnson, number 54, 250-pound junior from Provo, made an outstanding play. Otherwise, Harvey had running room.
Did Dwayne Johnson smell this one out or what? As watch Harvey. Usually John will make a cutback, and right here Johnson smells out this play, and Pufall was up leading the block, but nobody there to get Johnson.
Second down and goal. Miners at the BYU 8-yard line. We're more than midway through the second quarter. Cougars leading 17-3. Haggerty will throw, fires toward the left side of the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Touchdown Miners, Reggie Barrett. And the Miners have their first touchdown of the afternoon.
Very smart play. Reggie Barrett, who is very, very rangy, on a simple pro pass. All he does is go deep to the cone as fast as he can get there, and Haggerty wisely puts some great touch on the ball. He cradles it in, a touchdown for the Miners, and boy, do we need that at this point in time. It's very important. This touchdown is a big one.
Barrett had about 3 inches height advantage on Eric Bergeson as well. Chris Jackie to attempt the extra point out of Jeff Remo's hold. The ball is on its way, and it is good. We have a timeout on the field. 6:34 remaining first half. It's BYU 17 and the Miners 10. Copo helping out.
Cutler comes all the way across from the opposite side of the field. He'll see him go down. He's in motion, but look where he goes. Right in between the Miners defenders. He stops up. He doesn't go inside or outside. He just kind of stops on a dime, and then, of course, Covey lays it right in there.
Cougars with a first down from the Miner 30-yard line. Covey fades to throw. Deep drop, looking. He lofts it toward the end zone for Bryce Dolman, and it's too long. The coverage by Terry Walker and also by O.T. Thomas. He tried to lay it in there, and Dolman could not come up with it. It'll be second down.
Actually, Dolman was pushing off the defensive back, I believe, that time, but the crowd thought that might be pass interference, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was either on either way. It was just good defense against a well-designed play.
Now, Rick, our spotter, David Miles, the former wide receiver for the Cougars, he said, come on, there was no pushing there. None whatsoever.
He's not biased, is he?
Dolman and Cutler each come out to the right side. Covey will throw, fires left, it's intercepted. Richie Wright at the 40, he's in midfield, he's at the Cougar 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10. Richie Wright has a minor touchdown. Richie Wright picks one off and goes all the way down the far side. We'll have to get the official yardage for you, but Richie Wright with his second touchdown intercepted pass of his minor career. You might remember he picked one off against Hawaii a couple of years ago.
Richie Wright just diagnosing the play, playing it very well, strong safety position. As soon as the receiver made his outside cut, he gets right under the ball and outruns everybody else into the end zone. There's one happy camper right there, folks. Let me tell you something. He is elated.
Unofficially 71 yards on the interception return for the touchdown. Here's Jackie's try for extra point, and Jackie has tied the game. Timeout on the field, 2 minutes 42 seconds remaining first half, and the Miners and BYU are tied at 17.
They are just experts at utilizing that clock and timeout. So you're going to see them pass the ball and run the ball a little bit, combination of both.
Covey will pass. He throws over the middle. It's intercepted. Terry Walker at midfield at the 45, the 40, outside at the 35, the 30, at the 25. He's out of bounds at the 23-yard line with a penalty marker down. Terry Walker picks it off.
Great play by the Skywalker. He lays back like a good safety should, right over the middle, and I believe they tried to hit Cutler on the inside turn, and that's what it looked like. Now, Skywalker takes a little bit of a chance, too, but he's got good speed, good range. He makes the interception, and what a run back. The effort, second and third effort, right before the half. This has got to get our offense started off on a good foot. You'll see Cutler moving around to the left side. He comes inside. Here comes Terry Walker, makes the interception. And boy, does he just is licking his chops running down the field.
Walker, who had 4 interceptions a year ago, that would be the 11th of his minor career.
Ricky Lopez in the game right now, John. We talked to Dirk Cutter before the ball game. Watch for Ricky Lopez to get some action here. They love to get this little guy the football, and we could have a big play here. We'll see what happens.
Clipping call against the Miners takes it back to the BYU 46-yard line. First down, 3 receivers all to the left side, 1 to the right. And now we've got some motion. Bud Orr runs over Miner tackle Dean Whitholz, and flags are down. Now this is where the Miners have to keep their cool. Some of the players reacting, and now some of the cooler heads pulling their teammates away.
Some of the veteran players like Pat Haggerty jumping in there, and James Spady. That is smart football right there, because Whitholz did get knocked down. He took quite a shot. But the thing is, when you've got the football inside the 50 of BYU with less than a minute to play, you want to get some points on the board, take a lead in the locker room. Momentum is going your way. We don't need a stupid penalty here.
The call is offside against BYU. So Bud Orr, number 93, the junior tackle, jumping prematurely.
Orr really gets a hold of Dean Whitholz. Man, he unloads on him. And, of course, nobody else seems to like that at all. And you're going to see some tempers flare just a little bit.
And for his troubles, and they're going to have they were going to have a big walk-off, and now Jack Baker says, hey, where are you going?
The crowd's letting him know about it, too.
60,000 refs again don't like the call. Boy, you're right, Rick. Orr really did tattoo Whitholz. Whitholz is a big kid, and the 6'5", 275-pounder hit that turf hard, and he's on the sideline right now. He's sitting back. It appears he had done something to his ankle. It appears when he got hammered. Of course, when you're not expecting a hit like that, anything can happen. Boy, I hope he's all right.
And the Miners will be very happy to take that 5-yard walk-off. Yes, sir. They'll take it to the 41-yard line, bring up a 1st and 5 with 1:35 remaining first half, and the game tied at 17.
Keep in mind that the Miners are very good with the clock as well. They have a passing offense. They do their 2-minute drill all the time. Believe me, it's very conceivable that we can score a touchdown with 1:35.
3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Harvey, the lone back behind Pat Haggerty. Haggerty drops to throw. The rush on from the outside. The screen left Harvey at the 45, at the 40, trying to get outside. First down as he goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line of BYU, and that stops the clock. Troy Long forced him out of bounds, but the Miners pick up 6, a first down, and they stop that clock with 1:27 remaining first half.
A little outside pressure trying to get Haggerty instead of Harvey, and that leaves Harvey wide open. The outside linebacker came on a blitz, and then Harvey just simply takes it downfield. He catches the ball first, wisely a stiff arm before he goes out of bounds.
First down Miners at the BYU 35-yard line. Haggerty will pass. The rush on, rolling to his right. Haggerty fires down the sideline. Hausler can't get it inside the 20-yard line. The Cougars had triple coverage there as Rice, Long, and Peterson were all in the vicinity. Reagan Hansen, number 50, really had the heat on Pat Haggerty.
Yeah, you'll see Reagan Hansen coming through the line for the Cougars defense, a linebacker, as well as Bob Davis trying to chase down Haggerty. Haggerty, with his speed, was able to get outside Hausler, almost coming up with a big play. If Haggerty, I think, could have gotten the ball just a little bit closer, we'd have been in good shape.
Receivers to each side. Dixon wing right on 2nd down and 10. Haggerty stumbles back from center. Rolling right, sets up to throw. Over the middle, Harvey at the 10, the 5, touchdown Miners! John Harvey out of the backfield was wide open at the 10-yard line, and Pat Haggerty made no mistake. It's a 35-yard touchdown pass as Haggerty and Harvey hook up for the score.
Harvey, you'll see him just go right through the line of scrimmage, kind of sneaking through, just as much like Bellini does for the Cougars. And, of course, there's no match. You have a linebacker on Harvey. There's no way. Haggerty, fine job of the touch. He was wide open. You have to get it to him. He did. That's execution. That's what Dirk Cutter likes.
Chris Jackie's extra point tried to follow. The kick on its way, and once again, the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 1 minute, 14 seconds remaining first half. It's the Miners 24 and BYU 17.
A great job of getting back in the game. Let's keep it up in the second half.
Looks as though Haggerty may just kneel down, and that will be the case as the final seconds will tick off the Cougar Stadium clock. Stay tuned. Coming up next, it'll be our halftime activities. The Miners rally from 17-3 down, and at halftime this afternoon in Provo, Utah, it's the Miners 24 and BYU 17.